Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This video is about natural response in the S-plane, and this is from the book Engineering Circuit Analysis. Okay, now let's recall some theoretical part. A general voltage source Vs causes current It to flow after closure of this switch. So this is the circuit, and we close this switch, a current It will flow through the circuit. Now this current or the total current in the circuit is actually combination of two currents. One is the force current, which is due to the source. This current is called force current. But if we make this source zero, then whatever current flows, that is called the natural current, and the total current is the sum of the two. So if the VST or the source is zero, so set is zero, then the natural current can be given by this formula, constant A, e raised to the power minus RT over L. I'm sure you will be able to recall how we get this formula. Okay. Now, if the natural response is desired for a network that does not contain any independent source, so like this, they do not have any source, then a source Vs or Is may be inserted at a convenient point. So we can insert a source either here or at both the places to solve the circuit or to get the current or voltage. Okay, now however, if the network already contains a source, like here, these are the source available, then that source may be set equal to 0. So we have to put the source equal to 0 and then insert a source at a convenient point. So we can insert a source at a convenient point. So this we have to keep in mind. Another point that we come across when we solving the problem is that whether we connect a source here or we connect the source here, the frequencies will be same. So like if we calculate a frequency S1, S2 in this case, then in the second case we don't need to calculate again this frequency. We'll just assume that the frequencies are same S1 and S2. Okay, now with this background, let's discuss the solution of example 15.2. We'll try to make it simpler. The question is that the source-free circuit, determine the expression for I1 and I2 for t greater than 0. Given the initial conditions, I1 0 is equal to I2 0 is equal to 11. So we'll convert the circuit into S domain. And as we have learned that if the circuit has initial conditions, then inductors should be replaced by this SL and there is a voltage source. But since we have just learned that if the network already contains a source, then that source may be set equal to 0 and another source inserted at a convenient point. Therefore, we will just ignore this, or we set equal to 0 in drawing the S equivalent circuit. So our S equivalent circuit will be something like this. 2H will become 2S, 3H will become 3S. Remaining terms, the current will now become in the S domain. And we'll install a voltage source Vs to at point here, X and Y. And then we can find the transfer function Hs is equal to I1 divided by this voltage source. Okay, so this is the circuit that we have. Now, since we are interested in I1s, so we'll combine these two and this will form 6s divided by 3s into 2. Solving these two in parallel. And now from here we can find I1 as V over the impedance. So V over this total impedance. So 2s plus 1 and plus 6s by this term. And this can be simplified, or we proceed by taking LCM. Further simplification. And so this is the final shape of IS. And from here you can see that the denominator can be written as s plus 2 multiplied by s plus 1 over 6. So this is in factorial form, and therefore from here Hs, or the transfer function, can be calculated as I1 over Vs. So I1 is here and we bring Vs here. So this term remains. This is Hs. Okay, so we got Is in this form, in the S domain. We know from this formula that to convert 1 over S plus A from S domain to time domain, we can write it as e raised to the power minus at. So we'll have these two. We apply this formula. Now from our recent experience, we know at a glance that IA must be of the form, this form. That is A, some constant, e raised to the power minus 2t. From here we getting alpha as minus 2. And similarly for this one we get plus b e raised to the power minus t by 6. This is our alpha 1 by 6. Now I'll follow a strategy to keep the thing simple. We'll calculate the value of unknown A and B. In this case, these are the two unknowns. So first of all, we find I0 from equation number 1. So we put t is equal to 0 here. We get I0. We find the differential equation. So we differentiate this. Differential equation di dt from equation 1. We differentiate and then put t is equal to 0. So we get the second one. We also find di dt 0 from the circuit. So we'll solve the circuit. And the combination of these two will give our second equation. And second equation and first equation solving, we can get the constants A and B. So let's proceed. So this is our current equation. Find I0 from equation 1. So we put t is equal to 0. T is equal to 0 gives us this. And from here, since I0 is given to be 11 amperes, remember this is one the condition that I10 is 11 amperes. So we put 11 here, and this will become A and this will become B. So this is our first equation required, equation number 2. Then we have to find di dt from equation 1 from this. So we just differentiate this. So differentiating, we get this term minus 2a e raised to the power minus 2t from here. And from this will be minus 1 over 6 b e raised to the power minus t by 6. And here also now we put t is equal to 0. So this is our equation number 3 that we get. So we have found one of the di dt 0 from equation 1. Now we have to find circuit. Also find di dt from the circuit. So let's look at the circuit now. This is the circuit that we have. Additional equation can be obtained by writing KVL equation around the parameter. Since we are only interested in I1, and this is the only arm which contains I1. This shares I1 and I2. So what we'll do, we'll take the outer loop to keep it simple. And from the outer loop, we can write 1 into I1 plus 2 di dt. Now we are in time domain, remember, and plus 2I2. So this is our equation from the circuit, and from here we can find di dt to be as shown here. Just take both of these to the right hand side, and now put t is equal to 0. So it is half this 2I0 and this 1I0. And now plugging in the values of I20 and I10, it was given in the initial condition that both are equal to 11. So plug in 11 for both. And so from the circuit equation we get the value minus 33 over 2. Okay, the combination of these two will give our second equation. So this is we got from the circuit, and this we got from the equation number 1. So we just replace, plugging in the value of ditt in the equation 3. So minus 33 by 2 is equal to minus 2a minus 6b. And this is our second equation. And we already had this as our first equation. So now we'll solve these two, or we plug in the value of a from here. And solving these two, we'll get a is equal to 8 and b is equal to 3. Now those of you who are keen to know, I have just solved it separately. So what we have done is that we have replaced a as, from this circuit, a is 11 minus b, and keep solving. We found b to be 3, and therefore a can be found as 11 minus b, or 11 minus 3 is equal to 8. So that is how you get a and b. So we had a, we had b, and this was the initial equation number 1. So we now plug in the value of a and b. So this is our desired solution for I1t. A is 8 and b is 3. Now we'll go or move for I2t. Okay, to find I2t or I2s in S domain, we could use the following circuits. So the same circuit. What we have done is now we plug in the source here, and just like the previous part, we can calculate I2 from this. And as we have mentioned that we whether for the same circuit you change the source from this place to this place, the result will be same, or that is the roots will remain same. Note that the same frequencies must be obtained for any of the many source locations possible. So we discussed this initially, and therefore we don't go into the calculation. But if you are keen, you can calculate, you can just solve these in parallel and then find I from the circuit. So based on this, we'll just assume or write the second equation for I2t, and we have just named the variable differently. So this is now c e raised to the power minus 2t and d e raised to the power minus t by 6. Now these two terms remain same because S1 and S2 are same. And now we just follow the procedure that we follow for I1. So we put t is equal to 0, and plugging in t is equal to 0, we get our first equation, which is equation number 12, that is 11 is equal to c plus d. And then we also find di dt from equation number 1. So same way we just differentiate this. So differentiating, we get these two terms, minus 2 and c n minus 1 over 6 d e raised to power this. Plugging in the value of t is equal to 0, this becomes 1, this becomes 1. So this is our equation number 13, or di by dt 0 from the equation. Now we have to find di dt 0 from this. Okay, so for di dt 0 from this circuit, now if you look at this circuit, our current number 2 or I2 is shared by both of the meshes. So if you solve this mesh, here you will have I1 minus I2. So I2 is there. If you solve this mesh, you will have I2 minus I1 here. So I2 is involved in both the meshes. Since mesh 1 and mesh 2 both contains I2, therefore we have to write both equations to find di dt2. So let's proceed. I'm starting from mesh 2. So mesh 2, we are going from here. So 3 d is I2 minus I1. So we'll write 3 di2 minus I1 dt. And here it is 2i, or 2i2 is equal to 0. And solving, we get one of the equations, equation 14. And now we'll solve for mesh 1. So mesh 1 is same like here, 1 I1, 2 di1 dt, 2 di1 dt, and this is now common, so 3, but now we'll write I1 minus I2, so di1 minus I2 dt. And solving this, we find di1 is equal to, as shown here. So now what we'll do, we'll plug in this value of di into equation number 14. So all we'll have is di2 dt. Let's see. We had these two equations. We are now going to plug in di dt in this. Okay. This is the value. From here we plugging in and then solving, we get this term. And now we put t is equal to 0. So t is equal to 0, this one will become di2 0 dt. And now we can plug in the value of I1 and I2 as 11, because this is given in the initial conditions. And so the final result is now minus 143 by 6 for di2 dt. This is from the circuit. Okay, so we had these two values, this one from the circuit and this one from equation number 1. Now the combination of the two will give us the second equation, so we just combine these two. And this is our second equation. And now solving first and second equation to find the unknown constant. So we'll solve, this is the second equation and this was our first equation. So we just plug in the value of c from here to be 11 minus d. So you can see 11 minus d, and solving we find 11 by 6 d is equal to minus 11 by 6, and so from here the two terms gets cancelled, that means d is equal to minus 1. So we had d is equal to minus 1, and now we plug in this value of d in equation 12 to find c is equal to 12. And now we plug in the values of C and D in the equation 11 to find I2. So I2 is 12 e raised to the power minus 2t minus e raised to the power minus t by 6 amperes. So I hope, although this is a long question, but I hope this gives you an understanding as to how to solve this. Thank you.